I can feel that this is going to be a long video, but I want to talk about gratitude and where it all comes from. Sometimes I feel like I annoy a lot of people because I'm overly grateful and always so happy, but there's also a reason behind it. So I feel like I wasn't very aware of like gratitude and things like this, but that is also how I manifested my whole life. Literally, I went from like, it sounds so cringe saying it, but being in uni, and I didn't accept help from anyone because my ego is so big. So I left my house when I was 19, 20, and then I stopped receiving help from anyone. I'm so grateful that my parents raised me, but I refused to get any help. So I kind of like struggle from like, what's my next meal gonna be like, to living this dream life that I've always dreamt of, and I'm so grateful. But basically how this whole gratitude started is I wasn't very aware of what gratitude is, and I just lived life the way it is, kind of, because I was also young, so you kind of take what you are given and then you just take it for granted, and I feel like I was kind of that person. But now I'm so hyper aware of everything and so grateful for everything, because when I was younger, I actually had a friend, and her and I weren't really very, very close, but I sensed a lot that she always wanted to be my friend, and we became closer eventually, and then she got very, very sick. And she became so sick that sadly she passed away when she was very young, like super young. And she was really, I admire her so much because she was the most positive person I've ever met in my life. She was so sick, and I remember her telling me stories like, that she has to go to surgery and she's been through so much. But still, even like a week before, even a month before passing away, she was always so happy. She was like, oh, next month I'm gonna turn this and this age, and then next year I'm gonna be 17 and 18 and 19 and 20, and then I'm gonna become an architect and I'm gonna live my life. Like, even though she knew that she didn't have a lot of time left, she was so grateful for everything. And then she passed away, and I thought, wow, life is so short. I'm also on my period, so I'm more emotional, but I always think about this. But she was, even to the last day of her life, she was so positive, and it really hit me hard because I was like, wow, I'm granted with this life, that a lot of people, I once read a book and it says something like, you're living the day that a lot of people wish that a lot of people, no, how does it go? You're living another day that got taken away from some people, and some people wish they lived. Does it make sense? And that really hit me, and I was like, wow, I live this day, and sometimes I go through this day not feeling grateful for this day because, I went through something, or something sad happened to me. But even if it was a sad day, there are still people who would love to trade with you because you're living another day. And that's when I started becoming so grateful for everything. And I think everything happens for a reason in life. And I wouldn't say, of course, that her coming to my life was to teach me this lesson, but I'm so grateful that she came to my life and taught me this lesson about gratitude and just being grateful and happy about life. So I don't know if this motivates you in some way or helps you see life a bit differently, but I think no matter what you're going through, you're allowed to be sad, and it's so valid. We have to have these sad days to really appreciate the good ones. But I hope that you have in the back of your head always that this life you shouldn't take for granted, and everything that happens for a reason, and everything that's happening that's sad, there will always be moments that are better. So if you're going through something hard, there will always be moments that make it better, and these struggles that you have, they will always go away at one point. It's just a matter of time. And ever since I started living with this gratitude, and I feel like sometimes I really annoy people because I'm so happy and I try to see positive things in everything. And as I said, it's totally valid to not feel good sometimes, and you have to really acknowledge it, and you shouldn't feel bad for feeling bad. But just keep in the back of your mind that not everything should be taken for granted, And I feel like because I live with this mindset, I was able to attract everything in my life because I think just because of my energy, I feel so grateful. So you just attract more, even better things to yourself. I just want to share this. This is just the thought of the day.